The wind is picking up across western South Dakota as we head through this afternoon, where we have a wind advisory already in place for gusts up to 55 miles an hour through tomorrow morning. We even have a winter weather advisory for the northern part of the Black Hills, where we could see 3 to 5 inches of snow and gusts up to 40. Otherwise, tonight, mostly cloudy skies, a low of 22 Sioux Falls, 12 in Aberdeen, 17 in Pierre, and 16 in Rapid City. More snow and wind for tomorrow. KELOLAND's First at 4 starts right now.
Live from KELOLAND Media Group, KELOLAND News First at 4.
We hear from Senator John Thune about his reaction to the president's State of the Union address.
Plus, we talk with the people who saved an elderly man whose vehicle ended up in the water in Okoboji.
And later, a 14-year-old is hoping a Midwest Honor Flight is named after her. How you can help straight ahead.
Good afternoon. Thanks for tuning in to First at 4. I'm Kelly Volk.
And I'm Dan Centella. We're about halfway through the 2023 legislative session in Pierre as lawmakers discuss some hot-button issues.
That includes a proposal to ban public libraries from offering books with obscene material to kids. House Bill 1163 would have prohibited public libraries, including in schools, from offering materials that are, quote, harmful to minors.
However, the House Education Committee killed the proposal today. The ACLU of South Dakota said the bill was a blatant attempt at censorship. There's also a bill being discussed in Pierre to address the shortage of teachers in South Dakota.
House Bill 1214 would declare an emergency to help fill the teacher vacancies across the state. Republican Representative Tim Reich said he's working with several education groups to develop plans to encourage more students to become teachers. The number of teacher vacancies in South Dakota has nearly tripled over the last decade.
Schools in Iowa will soon get a 3% increase in funding. That brings Iowa's general fund spending on public schools to more than $7,600 per student. However, some lawmakers are asking why the increase is only 3%, pointing to the projected cost of the recently passed private school voucher bill.
I don't want to say it doesn't help out because it is higher than what we've received in the past. It's just not what we're, looking at, in order to keep up with inflation. I think the food inflation was like at 8.4%. So 3%, it doesn't come close to meet up that need.
The education funding increase will go into effect on July 1st and will apply to fiscal year 2024.
Now let's get a check of your weather. It was certainly beautiful today, but it sounds like that might change. Megan?
Well, unfortunately, it does. It doesn't look like it right now in Sioux Falls. Right now at 41 degrees, we do have a bit of a south wind, and that's much of the same across eastern KELOLAND, where Aberdeen right now is at 33, south wind's at 11. But as we head farther across the state, we do get a few more clouds. Pierre right now at 50, and in Rapid City, there's a few more of those clouds I was talking about, 46 with a stronger north wind. This afternoon, we have 30s, even low 40s across eastern KELOLAND, 40s and 50s the farther west you go. And we do have a stronger north wind in the western part of our state. Right now, anywhere from 10 to even 20 miles an hour, a few higher gusts. Everyone gets in on this wind as we go through the day tomorrow. Here's a look at our expected wind gusts. Starting just after midnight, we can see some of those stronger winds in western South Dakota. But by late morning, early afternoon, everybody gets in on wind gusts anywhere from 40 to even nearing 50 miles an hour. But they do move out by late tomorrow evening. Right now, we do have some snow in the Black Hills that is going to stick around through tonight, where we do have a winter weather advisory for areas in blue in the northern part of the Black Hills, where we could see those wind gusts up to 40 and 3 to 5 inches of snow. And we do have that wind advisory for those portions in brown with those gusts up to 55. We'll keep an eye on tomorrow's wind for everybody, but we do have warmer temperatures returning for the weekend.
Thanks a lot, Megan. Following the State of the Union address last night, President Biden is taking his message on the road. Today, the president was in Wisconsin touting his economic agenda. KELOLAND News Washington, D.C. correspondent Rashad Hudson has the story.
President Biden's second State of the Union address was definitely a lively event last night. At times, the president engaged with those who booed at him, but today he's looking to turn the page by trying to sell his priorities to the American people.
The soul of the nation is strong.
Fresh off of his State of the Union address, President Biden flew to Wisconsin to promote his economic agenda.
Folks, I hate to disappoint them, but the Biden economic plan is working.
In a speech to union workers, the president reflected on the strong reaction from Republicans to the idea they want to cut Medicare and Social Security.
Many of you have seen we've had a spirited debate last night with my Republican friend.
But the president said he will not allow cuts to those programs.
It's your dream, but I'm going to, my veto pen, make it a nightmare.
Ohio Democrat Joyce Beatty celebrated the president's State of the Union.
He talked about progress and possibilities. He talked about removing assault weapons. He talked about the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act.
But Michigan Republican John Molinar said he wanted to hear more from the president about lowering costs.
People are paying so much more at the gas pump, groceries, and he really didn't talk about how the excess spending has contributed to that.
And tomorrow, the president will travel to Florida to talk about Social Security and Medicare. Reporting in Washington, Rashad Hudson, back to you.
Senator John Thune spoke with CBS this morning about his reaction to the president's State of the Union address. He also says these speeches have changed.
The reaction in the chamber was probably pretty predictable. Democrats were very boisterous in their support, and Republicans, of course, not so much. And I think that, again, the tone of State of the Union speeches, at least in my, the modern era in which we live politically, there is more, I would say, activity in the chamber probably than there used to be.
We'll bring you more thoughts from Senator Thune on the State of the Union speech tonight on KELOLAND News at 6. Biden also renewed his call for a cancer moonshot. The goal is to cut the death rate from cancer by 50% in 25 years. The moonshot program is helping clinical trials and research in Iowa.
The Cancer Moonshot is reinvigorating the research, but also reinvigorating and putting funding into more prevention, early detection, and treatment. Cancer affects everyone, and it's exciting to see emphasis placed on cancer research and on preventing cancer, early detection, and treatment. This will make a big difference in the lives of Americans.
Mercy One Cancer Center has more than 60 clinical trials open for patient participation. The health system says these programs have been accelerated due to the Cancer Moonshot program.
Another South Dakotan who had COVID-19 has died, according to this week's update from the state health department. Since the pandemic began nearly 3 years ago, 3,153 people have died in the state. Health officials confirmed nearly 1,000 new cases over the last week. There are currently 630 South Dakotans infected with the virus. Right now, 66 coronavirus patients are in the hospital. A bill in North Dakota would ban mRNA technology in vaccine development. mRNA technology is what led to COVID-19 vaccines being developed so quickly by Pfizer and Moderna. Supporters of the bill say people are suffering devastating effects from the vaccines. However, a doctor from Sanford spoke in opposition to the proposal, saying mRNA vaccines are overwhelmingly safe.